One of Obama's calling cards here is that he can play across the aisle, that he's got bipartisan appeal. But what is that appeal? Does Obama have an actual track record, Tony Blankley, of bipartisanship?
Yeah, I don't want to claim a comprehensive knowledge of Obama's record, but my impression is that he does not have a track record of challenging the interests of his own side. I mean, he challenges the interests of the Republican side. This is the argument McCain's making. If it's makeable, it's a powerful argument for McCain because it goes to the very nature of how Obama describes his campaign and the reason for it, that he's beyond politics. If you can show that he has the weaker record decisively from McCain, who clearly has a bipartisan record, that's why he doesn't have base supporters, because he's been on the wrong side for a lot of us for many years. I think this is a powerful issue if he can make it, and part of that is going to be advertising money, where Obama will be outspending him 2 or 3 to 1.
David, that's one of the reasons he gave that speech at the African American Church on Sunday, though, was to provide some examples, contemporaneous examples, of him talking to people, in essence, on his own side and saying, you've got to shape up, too.
But has he done it in Washington? I mean, Rachel, yes. This is the flip side of the argument that being in the Senate is a vulnerability for McCain, because he does have areas where he can say, whether it's Gang of 14, campaign finance reform, other issues, say, look, I've done it. I have worked on the other side of the aisle.
Yeah, in fact, he does. I mean, Barack Obama's only been in the Senate for 1 term, but in that time, the bills that he sponsored have been with people like Tom Coburn on more than 1 occasion. He was the guy who extended the Nunn-Lugar bill so that it wasn't just about weapons of mass destruction. It was also about dangerous conventional weapons like shoulder-fired missiles. He did that with Dick Lugar. So he has. I mean, when you've only been in the Senate for 1 term and you're a freshman, you don't have a huge legislative record. But what he's got is actually extraordinarily bipartisan.
I think, David, I think Rachel may have just exhausted the list. I think that may be it. Well, I mean, he clearly doesn't have a bipartisan record. I mean, the National Journal survey found that he was the most liberal senator in the United States. Come on, it actually did.
Right, and Bernie Sanders is obviously taking it to the refs on this one, and Russ Feingold too. Look, if Tom Coburn and Dick Lugar don't count as reaching across the aisle because we're rounding that down, then you can't say the National Journal rounding up his record makes any sense either. It's just
look, I'm perfectly happy to count them. There's just 2. I mean, what other examples are there? The fact remains that the National Journal poll, I mean, you can scoff at it if you want. Other people don't seem to scoff at it, and I guarantee that the McCain campaign is going to be using it liberally.
Steve, let me ask you, though. In 2004, that National Journal poll, who did they say was the most liberal senator in 2004
I don't know.
It would be John Kerry. In both cases, I think Bernie Sanders was really mad.
Tony Blankley, quick comment here, because I want to get to
the Nunn bill was not a big partisan fight. McCain, on the other hand, is paired up with Kennedy, with Feingold. I mean, over there, he's picked on the Democratic side on great partisan fights.
So
Obama hasn't done that at all.
Coburn is a liberal Democrat?
No, but it was not a big bill.
All right, let me just wedge in here.